Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, M1 did the stock picking for me based upon my allocations. We can look right down here and see that I have 3 slices in this portfolio, and the ETF slice is still underweighted. So all my deposits right now, if I let them auto invest, are going to go into the ETFs portion of this portfolio. We can see here though the performance over the last year been doing quite well, up 18.82%. We'll go to the last 3 months and up 5.28%. Then over the last week it's been pretty flat, down 0.15%. But let's take a look at today, and today we're down nearly 1%, so kind of heading in a downward direction. That's fine because we're really at all-time highs here, so I expect this to kind of continue these ups and downs because there hasn't been any major news yet announced. We may see another upward trend when the Fed announces some rate cuts. We'll see. I'm predicting they will, even though I don't think it's a great idea. It'll help the portfolio out and by investments, but I don't think macro wise and for the economy, I don't think it's a great idea. I still think we have too much kind of, I call what's fake money that was printed needs to be blown out of the economy, I think, first before we start cutting interest rates. So we'll take a look at, what's an ETF slice, because I know this is where the money's going to go, and that's going to be until probably we get the SCHD dividend in September. This probably won't even out until then, so it's going to be underweighted. We can see that BST is overweighted, and then SCHD is underweighted by the 0.6%. So we'll jump into the activity log here, and we'll see where it went. So there's 3 buys here, and there's 2 buys that are dividend drips. So you can see Starbucks paid a nice little dividend of $9.72. And then BST paid a great monthly dividend of $4.85.35, and these are going to be dripped right back into BST and Starbucks. So we'll see what that one buy is, which we already know, which is no surprise, SCHD. I'm going to click on each of these and we'll see how much was purchased, quantity wise. We can see we bought over a share of SCHD, so we got 1.18 shares of SCHD. So adding more and more to that position. And then BST with that 485.35 going into there, we picked up 13.87 shares. So nice pickup there. And we know Starbucks is going to be a fractional since their share price is over $90. This is going to be about 10% of a share. So 972. Yeah, exactly 0.1 of a share there, but every little bit does count. I'm going to show you that on my dividend tracking spreadsheet here. We're going to jump over to that, and let me know in the comments if you guys can see this. If you want this zoomed in even more, I could even go to 100%. We'll make this a little bit bigger in your screen, but I'll have to do some scrolling to the right is the only problem. So let me know what you guys prefer as far as seeing this. I'm going to scroll down to where we're at right now, which is in September, and since we had the holiday, these pairs right here, the Kroger, Black Hills, Aflac, Pinnacle West, those have gotten pushed to tomorrow. So I'll see these dividends appear in my account and do a count up the sum. So $49.01 is just going to show up in my M1 brokerage account. I'm just going to wake up with it in my account, doing absolutely nothing. What I'll do is then I'll put those values in there, and I've got some values over here for Starbucks. This is going to change. This is a 972, and I've put this over here just to show you guys how it's going to change with the dividend drip. It's going to go up by just a few cents for the next dividend that Starbucks will pay at the end of November. And then SCHD, since I bought just a little bit over 1 share, we're going to see how that's going to impact the dividend there. It would be 970.76, and that's if the dividend remains the same, but we all know that's not going to be the case. And then BST, this will remain the same. We're going to see what this drip did. The 485.50 is it's gonna move the needle, at least by a few dollars, by $3 plus. I'm predicting there, so we'll see that. You can see these large dividends I've received so far for SCHD and BST. So over the $8,000 mark for BST, and it just keeps climbing. Just going to scroll down here. We can see here's the monthly cash flow average for the portfolio, and this will be changing, as well as the quarterly and annual. But I look at this as like a monthly paycheck, and this is average. It takes the quarterly total for what the portfolio is paying and divides it by 3. So we're going to see this change in just a second. We're going to grab some data from M1 over here on the holdings tab, and I'll leave a link below for the Google Docs spreadsheet, as well as what's in my portfolio at M1. In the link you'll be able to see what's in my portfolio and what allocation I have percentage wise for each of those. So I'll scroll down really quickly, and I'm going to grab the data too, and I'll show you what's in the portfolio. SCHD is the largest by far in the portfolio, and we can scroll down and see BST and AbbVie is the largest single holding, and then NVIDIA is the next one. And just going all the way down. Again, I'll leave a link below so you can see what these all are. Of course, what's in my portfolio and what I'm buying is not investment advice. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, and I'm chronicling it in these videos to show you how this portfolio has grown, as well as the income from it. So I'm going to grab everything starting from the name column, and then we're going to do a copy. And what I'm doing is I'm grabbing this information from M1, and what it's doing is it's grabbing the number of shares, the average price, and the cost basis for each of my positions in the portfolio. We're going to go ahead and we're going to paste this over here to the M1 data tab. And again, it's going to change the values for the 3 positions, for the Starbucks, the BST, as well as SCHD, and those shares are going to change. It's going to also change, the next dividend. So let's go ahead and paste that information over here to the M1 data tab, pay special values only, and it's done the calculations there. So I don't have to type in the number of shares, as well as my average share price or my cost basis. It does it automatically with that paste. So we'll see here what has changed. We're going to look at Starbucks first, and we can see $9.72 is what Starbucks paid me just recently, just a couple days ago, and the new dividend will be $9.77 with that drip. But the next time it pays me at the end of November, it's going to be even more, because in September, Starbucks, at least historically, has announced a dividend increase. So we'll see if Starbucks does an 8% increase. It's going to push it over the $10 mark if they do that. So we'll see what they do. It's going to add probably 70, 80 more cents to this dividend at the end of November. Scroll down here, and here is what the $100 did with SCHD. And if SCHD has 82 cents as their next dividend, we can expect $9.71.74. But I don't think it's going to be quite that nice. I'm predicting probably somewhere in the low 70s. We'll see if it matches the 82 cents or goes higher. I'll be very happy about that, but I'm not counting on it. And then we can see BST here, $485.50. That was the last dividend. But at the end of November here, if I don't buy any more shares, BST is going to pay me $488.97. So that was a nice increase there with that dividend drip. So we'll scroll down here. We can see what the new monthly cash flow average is. So we're going to take that 1,010.11 and put that over onto the monthly average dividend tracking tab. I'm going to scroll all the way down here to the bottom. The 1,010.11, and we'll see how much the change was. And again, this change is going to be Going forward, this is stacking on top of the already, it was 1,630. Now we're at 1,1011. So this is every single month I've added an additional $3.81 to the paycheck. And that was the result of the $100 deposit, which bought the SCHD, and then the Starbucks and BST dividend drips. We can take a look. We can see the quarterly and annual as well over the $12,000 mark. So you can look at it this way. It's paying $1,010.11 per month, $3,030.34 every quarter, and then annually $12,121.36. So let's go over to the Dividend Tracker tab. And I've been doing these videos since January 2021. You can see the portfolio value was at $18,700, and I started this portfolio really from just selling things on eBay and just taking my fun money that I didn't spend and just put it into this portfolio. And this is where this really came from. It wasn't from a large one item thing where I sold something or something like that. It was a lot of just little things just added up over time. We can see the first dividends paid to me in January 2021 from the portfolio at $37.41. And we'll get to more recent time here in 23 and 2024 here. We can see the portfolio value, is over the $2,000 or $200,000 mark here, and we're getting dividends of over $1,000 in the last month of each quarter, and that trend has continued. And you can see here is the dividends that are paid for me in the last full month, which was August, and I put the dividends are going to be paid to me tomorrow morning. I've got those in there. Let me go over here and make sure I've got the right amounts. Looks like I added, because I had to bump those over. They were going to pay me in the 3rd, and the 4th was Pinnacle West. I think that's going to pay me tomorrow. So it actually, adding those in, it should be $49.01. So I'll carry that over there. And then here's the quarterly totals, and we're not even close to being done in September. We just started receiving the dividends, and especially with SCHD, this is going to push Q3 to a very, very large amount. And then we can see here's the average monthly dividend. You can see how this has climbed, and we're at $1,010.11. And just in the month of September, only in the 3rd day, we've already added $3.81 of additional monthly income to the portfolio. Here's a month-over-month gain already at 0.38%. You can see we're climbing, further and further up above the $12,000 mark, and we've added $45.76 of dividend income over here. There's the $100 deposit. And let's go jump over to my total net worth statement. And of course, this is going to be dropping a little bit from last week because the decline just in the market today on Tuesday, we've opened up lower. So you can see what I'm invested in. Here's at Vanguard. I have an IRA, Roth brokerage account, taxable brokerage account in boring ETFs is what it really is. No individual positions over there. And I recommend having most of your net worth in ETFs and not in individual positions. But that's just me, though. I feel more comfortable doing that. I do have individual positions, obviously, in my dividend stock portfolio, but I have guardrails up here. And we can see here I have my 401k. That's an S&P 500. It's 100% into that. No bonds there at all. And then I have an IRA over at M1. You can see in ETFs like VU, VTI, SCHD. Also some BST there for some income. Here's the dividend portfolio. Here is some savings over here in M1, earning 5%. And then here's a Synchrony savings account. This is kind of like 1 year of expenses. This is paying 4.65%. And here's more immediate savings, pretty much a 2-month emergency fund over here at Capital One, earning 4.25%. Here is my home value, and then I don't have a balance on my credit cards currently. And then at here's my mortgage here. This is my only debt is in my mortgage, and I'm going to pay that off aggressively here. It's at $180,000. And here's my total net worth, just below the 1.7 mark. Last week last Friday actually, I was over the 1.7 million mark, but back into the 1.6s with the market taking a little bit of a dip today. And you can see how the breakdown is in stocks, very heavily invested in stocks. So when stock market goes up, my net worth goes way up. When it goes down, it goes way down. So very heavily invested in stocks. But I think, over the long run with, 9-10% returns in the S&P, I'm comfortable with the swings. It's going to happen. It's a part of life for me, and I don't have an issue with it. You can see I'm 86% in stocks, 8% home equity, 5.5% in cash. And then I also like to show how that's broken down as far as, pre-tax. That's my IRA's 401k, and that's money I technically can't touch. I know there's ways around it, but really can't do anything with it. I could I should probably put my home equity in there, because I really can't touch that unless I sell my home. It's kind of locked into that vault, really. Same with, pre-tax, but my after-tax freedom is in things like, cash, as well as my dividend portfolio and my taxable brokerage account at Vanguard. Those are things I can tap into if need be, if there's a dire emergency. And here's the breakdown as far as US and international. And that's all I had to show you guys, was what I was buying today. And again, it seems like week after week it's going into SCHD, and I don't have a problem with that, because in September we're going to be getting another dividend in SCHD as well, and I'm very long on SCHD. I think it's a great holding to have, and it's one where also you may want to look at, if you don't want to invest in individual positions, if you're not comfortable with it, but you want that dividend there. If you want a larger dividend, you don't have to invest in as much in SCHD as you would in a total stock market index. You'd have to invest less than half the amount to get the dividend payout. And SCHD, as far as returns, is not that far off from an S&P 500 index or a total stock market index. It doesn't quite get there, but it's pretty close. You can do comparisons of from a year, 5 year, 10 years, and look out and look and see and do some comparison for yourself. But with me though, I don't want to sell my shares. I just want to spend the dividends in retirement. So to me, SCHD is a great investment vehicle. But let me know in the comments below if you guys agree with that philosophy, and also let me know what you're going to be buying this week. Thanks for sticking to the end of the video. If you got value from the video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. My next video is going to be my budget video. I know it's not as popular. People want to see what I'm buying and what I'm investing in and the dividends I receive, but it really doesn't, all this stuff doesn't matter if you don't track your expenses and know where your money is going, so you can invest that gap. If you don't have a gap in your budget, it doesn't matter. You can't build wealth. So thanks again everyone for sticking to the end, and I hope everyone has a great week. Everyone take care.